We've all seen it. You know, you're walking down the street and you see a knockout of a woman. Your eyes linger for a brief but respectful moment, and then you notice the guy by her side, and you have to ask yourself, what? She's with him? Hello, I'm Caitlin V, your sex and relationship coach, and today we are going to talk about something that guys often overlook when trying to figure out why they haven't landed the one yet. Whether you're just looking to casually date or you are looking to lock down something for the long haul, this is the one thing that could be the answer to why you're not attracting the type of women that you want. And that thing, my friends, is mindset. You see, all women are different. We all look for different things when it comes to finding a partner. There are, however, some pretty universal qualities that all women are drawn to. And today I'm going to reveal these 7 mindsets that attract women like crazy. And I'm not just talking about things that pique a momentary, temporary interest. I'm talking about perspectives that will benefit you in all aspects of your life and just happen to attract incredible, special, amazing women along the way. So many things are at play when it comes to gaining and keeping attraction. So make sure to take a second and subscribe to this here channel for my countless tips and tricks to level up your sex and relationship life. And you will want to stay until the end of the video because each and every one of these is highly impactful when it comes to magnetizing women, and each and every single one of them is valid and important. And by the way, I'm going to explain each of them as opposites because you will find yourself usually occupying one or the other of these mindsets, and it helps me to explain them and put them into context. Okay, without further ado, mindset number 1, abundance versus scarcity. These terms were initially coined in the best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And let me tell you, if you're out there looking at the world from a mindset of scarcity, there is another way, a better way at that. Having a mindset rooted in scarcity means that you look at the whole world as a big, finite pie. That means when someone out there takes a piece of that pie, whether it's landing a new job or getting with the woman of their dreams, it means there's one less piece to go around for you. And let me tell you, from the viewpoint of dating, this comes off as insecure, thirsty, and more than a little desperate. Now, a person with an abundance mindset sees the world as having limitless options and opportunities. This person feels like everything is working out for them all the time through the good and the bad. They don't get worried or jealous when great things happen to the people around them because guess what? They know that there's plenty of good to go around. Not only do women find this incredibly sexy and attractive and reassuring, it is so beneficial to your personal growth and well-being that if you take nothing else from this video or this channel or me as your coach, taking an abundance mindset will change your entire life. All right, mindset number 2. Victor versus victim. I want to be with a man who feels like the entire world is out to get him. Said no woman ever. Look, I get it. Shit happens. Sometimes it's hard to stay positive, but if you want to lead a happier, more empowered life, I highly recommend staying away from self-victimization. Someone with the mindset of a victim always feels like the world is out to get them and that it usually really is succeeding at getting them. Whereas people with the mindset of a victor accept tough challenges from a position of strength and confidence. It sucks when things don't go our way, but with the mindset of a victor, you can see your struggles as an opportunity to learn. If you know that there's always a way out and that as long as you're learning, it means you're winning, then you have a victor mindset. Mindset number 3, growth versus fixed. Growth. And I am not talking about the type that happens in your pants. Men with a growth mindset are incredibly attractive to women for a few reasons. First, they're focused on self-betterment. People with a growth mindset want to learn, want to achieve, want to be the best possible version of themselves. Think about it. Being in a relationship with a man who has a growth mindset is so appealing because he's focused on the positive. He's developing. That translates to how he's going to behave in the context of your romantic or sexual relationship. And on the flip side, people who have a fixed mindset tend to be stubborn. They approach life from the perspective of, this is me, this is how it's gonna be. Tough luck, everybody. If you've ever seen someone say something like, well, I just can't, or I just don't, that's someone who has a fixed mindset. I just can't learn how to do this because I'm stuck where I am right now. Definitely do not want to jump all over that guy's dick. All relationships take compromise. And when a woman encounters a man with a fixed mindset, she's found a guy who is not going to be compromising because he is not focused on getting better. Number 4, grateful versus resentful. There is a ridiculous amount of research indicating that gratitude is incredibly important for building and maintaining social and romantic relationships. If you implement no other tool except for just gratitude, you are more likely to have a successful, romantic, intimate, communicative, and joyful romantic relationship. Try it out. It is the cheapest thing you can do to increase your satisfaction in life. In the context of a romantic partnership, a person with a grateful mindset is good at noticing and appreciating all of the good traits in their partner. They don't lose sight of all of the things that they like about the person that they're with. Gratitude's less appealing counterpart is resentment. And if you've fallen into a resentful mindset, it means that you dwell on the negatives. It's also a good predictor that your relationship is going to end because your partner is eventually going to leave you, or they're in a horrible resentment, codependency, love triangle with you where they hate you but they will not leave, which I do not wish on my worst enemy. Now, I am not suggesting that you or your partner be Pollyanna and just see the world through rose-colored glasses. It is important to identify problems as they come up, but women are looking for men who identify those problems with a purpose of addressing them and working through them, and not just complaining about what a horrible cook you are for the rest of your life. Gratitude is not just attractive in romantic partnerships, it is attractive in general. If you look at those people in your life who tend to have the most friends, the most success, they're the center of the party, people are drawn to them like moths to a flame, I can bet that they demonstrate a level of gratitude and they share that with the people around them. All right, mindset number 5, compassionate versus selfish. I mean, this one is a no-brainer. Women want to be treated well. We want to be with people who hold space for us, who make us feel seen and heard. And if we get the sense that someone lacks compassion or fails to be able to empathize with perspectives that are different from his own, that is a pretty immediate red flag. Now, on the opposite side of compassion is selfishness. If you are coming from a selfish mindset, it means that you are only focusing on yourself and how you feel at a given moment in a given situation. What it really means is that you don't actually have space to bring another person into the mix in a meaningful ways. We all have times in our lives where it is right and it is necessary to be a little self-centered, but focusing on yourself in order to figure out what works for you is also part of being in a healthy, fulfilling relationship. But doing that in balance is what makes you an attractive partner. Mindset number 6, open versus closed. If you have ever watched a rom-com, you have seen this play out. The lonely, dissatisfied protagonist, stuck in his ways, going through life in a closed-off daze. Along comes the amazing, quirky, sort of clumsy heroine, and 9 times out of 10 she's played by Zooey Deschanel. It's all going well until things get real. Stuff continues to go wrong, and eventually you can bet your ass that there will be a scene where she's pleading with the guy, "Why won't you open up to me?" Well, women have seen these rom-coms too, and we have learned to suss out pretty quickly when we are dealing with a closed-off guy. And guess what? We are not Zooey Deschanel, and we don't have time for that shit. Women are looking for men with an open mindset, and this doesn't just apply to relationships. When you have an open mindset, it is present in all aspects of your life. Open people are adventurous. They are unafraid. They welcome new challenges and they approach life with a sense of excitement and vigor. The alternative to the open mindset is you guessed it, closed. When we dig a little deeper, a closed mindset is rooted in fear. People with closed mindsets are afraid of change. They're afraid of trying new things. They're afraid of taking risks. And studies have shown that people with closed mindsets are less likely to get along with different types of people. They're hesitant to explore new activities. They tend to be less creative than their open counterparts. Which brings me to mindset number 7, confident versus insecure. Last but not least, I bet you all saw this coming from a mile away. This is huge. And in many ways, it is the culmination of all of these other mindsets put together. Confidence. People. We want confident men. And by the way, if you're honest with yourself, don't you want a confident woman too? Confidence plays an enormous role in attracting women. Confidence is all about being comfortable with yourself. It's about trusting yourself and not being afraid to put yourself out there. When you shift your mindset into a confident state of mind, the world becomes your oyster. And knowing that you, sir, are the shit. Confidence isn't about being right all the time. It's not about always knowing what to do. It's about valuing yourself and feeling comforted by the fact that no matter what comes your way, you will figure it out. Possibly because you learned the 6 other mindsets that you will apply to that situation. And guess what? When you have a confident mindset, it radiates. Women can tell. Their little spidey sense. That guy over there, he's confident. I can just tell. I'm gonna go talk to him. We do that shit. Confident men know what they deserve, and it makes women want to give it to them. Confident men understand their boundaries. They know their needs. They know how to assert themselves from a place of self-love and not from insecurity. They know that love and attraction and fun and sex and pleasure are abundant, and that makes them so much fun to be with. And women, we can tell just as easily when you're coming from a place of insecurity. Insecure guys struggle in relationships because in order to create a healthy, fulfilling bond with someone, you have to have one with, you guessed it, yourself. Insecure people are often second-guessing themselves and their decisions. They don't know what they want, and they often engage in codependent or even sabotaging behaviors in their romantic relationships. And take this from someone who has dealt with insecurity. Sometimes you can be super confident in one area of your life. You show up to work and you are so confident that you know what to do and how to do it. But as soon as you leave work and you're at the bar making eyes with an attractive lady, all of those insecurities show up and you completely fall apart. So confidence and insecurity, it's not a zero-sum game. It's way more complicated than that. Listen, I know you might be thinking right now, I do not have these mindsets. How the hell am I ever going to attract a worthwhile female partner? If you are sitting there realizing that you're ready to shift gears, that you want to become your best, most authentic, most confident, most capable, most open, most abundant man, I invite you to apply for High Performance Male, my coaching program. It is where I put all of my years of experience coaching men, helping them to develop an innate sense of confidence, an innate sense of knowing who they are, what they deserve in the world, and turning that up to an 11 so that they can attract their ideal female partner, whether or not they're already married to her. In fact, High Performance Male starts with a module on confidence because that is how important confidence is for men living in today's world, navigating workplaces, navigating romantic and sexual relationships. When you bring confidence into the bedroom and you bring confidence into the boardroom, and you know deep down to your core that you truly are the amazing, authentic, expressed man that you were born to be, I mean, is there anything in life that's more powerful than that? I don't think so. Remember, just like any habit, you can shift your mindset. You are not born with these mindsets. You are not going to die with these mindsets unless you choose to, because now you know better. I am Caitlin V, and let me lead by example by telling you how grateful I am to you for watching, for subscribing, for tuning in today. I love you so much. I believe in you so deeply. You have got this. Boom, boom. Bye.